Hi Virgo, here is your love reading for the month of July 2017. I have already pre-shuffled and laid out your cards. The central issue this month is the King of Swords. Now, yes, it could be possible that some of you are involved in a relationship with an air sign, an Aquarius, a Libra or a Gemini. If that's not the case, then it's talking more about your energy at the moment. The King of Swords is about gaining clarity. He seeks the truth to a situation. It may very well be that during this month of July, either you or your partner are analysing this relationship in order to work out what the relationship may be offering and really whether the relationship is good or bad. It can be very much about either one of you instigating a conversation in terms of, look, maybe we need to sit down and talk about our future here, and whether we do have a future together. It can be about you, as I said, trying to gain clarity, maybe needing to take a step back and look at this relationship in terms of what it is offering you, and in terms of what direction you feel it's going. Now, in the recent past, we do have the Strength card. It's number 8 in the Major Arcana. And this talks more about an internal strength rather than physical strength. It may be that you may have been wanting to have this conversation with this person for some time, but maybe have on some way feared having this conversation, have lacked the internal strength that may be required to instigate this type of conversation. Also, this card can touch on the fact of finding that internal strength in order for you to force a change that you know is needed here. Because it's kind of like, as I said, reaching that point where you just seem to know that this relationship cannot continue in the way that it is. In the present, we do have the Page of Cups. It's in its reverse position. And it may very well be that either you or your partner have started to emotionally withdraw from this relationship, and not as emotionally focused as you may have been previously. The Page of Cups as well can touch on an element of immaturity when it comes to being able to have a committed relationship with somebody. There can be an element of deception attached to that Page of Cups, and an element of somebody that takes things too personally, takes things too much to heart. Now, in your advice, we do have here the Queen of Cups. Now, this is either talking about either somebody you're in the relationship with or somebody else involved here that could be a fire sign, an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius. Or this is talking about your energy. And if that's the case, then it's talking about you being very determined in this month of July. Very determined to gain the clarity that you're seeking, to maybe have some questions answered. But very determined in resolving this situation one way or another. Now, up here we do have the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups can talk about third-party situation. I tend to feel that more when the card's in the reverse, but I never rule it out even when it's in the upright. If that's not the case here, then the Three of Cups does tend to, because it talks about, yes, it can talk about celebrations and that, but in this particular reading with these other cards, the Three of Cups can talk about somebody that really cares about you and feels a lot for you, but maybe more towards friendship than they do in terms of a fully committed relationship. It may be the case here that your partner does, as I said, care for you, does love you, but maybe more on a level of friendship, or maybe feels as though the two of you are better as friends. Now, here in your environments, we do have the Magician. It's number 1 in the Major Arcana. And there's 2 aspects with this card. Excuse me, I'm just going to let my dog into the garden. Sorry about that, Virgo. Getting back to the Magician. What it can talk about, first of all, is not having all the ingredients here in order to make this relationship work. There may be a lack of emotion. There may be a lack of passion. There may be finances. It could be any number of areas. But it can talk, as I said, about not having all the right components here to be able to bring this to a fully committed relationship that's going to be ongoing. The other aspect in the Magician that I don't like is it can talk about somebody that's wearing a false mask here. Somebody that's pretending to be something they're not. Somebody that's pretending to feel something that they don't. So there's definitely an element of caution there with that Magician if somebody is wearing a false mask here. Now, it could be you, it could be your partner. It can go both ways. The next card we have is number 2 in the Major Arcana. We have the High Priestess in the reverse. This card talks about the need for you to listen to your intuition. And you may not be doing that. You may be getting a feeling as though something is not quite right. But you may be choosing to ignore that, push it to one side, not listen to your gut instinct. What you need to do with the High Priestess is you need to listen to your intuition. You need to listen to that little niggly inner voice, because I feel that there's definitely that situation going on within you. That on the outside, this relationship looks very perfect. But on the inside, something is not right. I have to say as well, the High Priestess can often talk about somebody being in the relationship more for sex and the physical pleasure, and they don't really have any real intentions of offering a long-term commitment. But somebody that is obviously not disclosing that. And if that is the case for you, then like I said, it's somebody that's wearing a false mask here. This can talk about somebody having a hidden agenda. And you must listen to your inner voice here. The next card we have is another major arcana. We have number 5 and we have the Hierophant. There's 2 keys in front of that Hierophant. It can talk about unlocking the truth here. The truth to this situation. Getting to the truth about, is somebody wearing a false mask here? Is somebody looking at this relationship more as friendship and sexual rather than commitment? Because the Hierophant can also talk about commitment and marriage. And it could be that you are wanting this relationship to reach a point where that level of commitment, i.e. marriage, is on the table, is being offered. When the other person may very well have a different agenda. Now, to clarify the Hierophant, I got the 9 of Wands in the reverse position. The thing with the 9 of Wands is it can talk about feeling on edge. It can talk about feeling defensive and touch on feeling slightly paranoid. And it can touch on feeling hesitant about making a long-term commitment. See, you yourself may be fearing also making a commitment here. Because, like I said, you may have this little voice inside you that keeps telling you that something is not right, that something is missing here. Now, to clarify the 9 of Wands, I got the 6 of Cups. This is a card of nostalgia, of looking back. It can also be a card of somebody from the past returning. It may be that you are looking back at this relationship when it was in its early stages, when it was in its honeymoon phase, when it may have felt very different. But this card could also be here to signify that either you or your partner could be looking back at a previous relationship that you've been in or they've been in with somebody else. And it could signify that maybe that person from the past is still significant to either you or your partner. And that may very well be the Queen of Wands there. For some of you, not all of you. Because like I said, that could be your own energy there. Now, the thing is as well, if that Six of Cups is talking about a relationship that your partner was in before, you may be feeling paranoid. And you may be feeling as though there could still be something going on between them. Or that you may have this feeling as though your partner still has feelings for their previous partner. Or that there's a chance that they may reconcile. It's going to play out differently for all of you. Now, to clarify this reading, I'm using the Romance Oracle cards. And you got pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. And that's really what I've been saying here with this High Priestess. About this inner voice. You knowing and feeling inside that something doesn't feel right here. And if that is how you're feeling, then you need to pay attention, because these are the red flags. If something doesn't feel right, then you must pay attention to that and you must deal with that situation. And the way to deal with it is, like I said at the beginning with that King of Swords, about having this discussion, about you cutting to the truth here. In order for you to get more clarity, you're going to maybe need to have this heart-to-heart conversation. And it may not be easy for you. It may take a lot of strength for you to have that conversation. But the conversation is needed here about which direction this relationship is heading. Because if one of you is wanting commitment, marriage, and the other one is really viewing this relationship more as a friendship and maybe in it for the sex, and that's not to say that feelings are not involved here, because I'm sure there is an element of emotional attachment. But you also may have felt recently with that Page of Cups that on some level your partner may have started to become emotionally distant. Maybe you've noticed them becoming very quiet at certain moments, almost like they're contemplating. But you may be feeling as though they are contemplating something that maybe not in connection with you and them. But overall, a conversation is needed to take place here, because like I said, there's red flags there, and I feel that you intuitively know that something is not right. Okay, Virgo, that does conclude this reading. Thank you so much for liking, sharing and subscribing. Take care. Bye.